Okay, here we are, everybody, almost 6 weeks in, and a lot is continuing to unfold, and a lot of questions are coming up, and a lot of people are continuing to stay asleep. All of this is to be expected when we are endeavoring, navigating, and attempting to understand something of this degree with generations of beliefs and conditioning, with an era of how we've been taught to follow an environment where we are ridiculed if we question or attempt to make any level of discernment, with fear that we will be ostracized, we will be judged, we will be outcasted, we will be called names, we will be projected upon. So all of it is understandable, not acceptable on any level, if I have anything to say about it from my own internal perspective. But I feel as if we have to kind of really look at why it is we're even here. Let's just, for a moment, strip anything symptomatic that has risen over the last 6 weeks. And if we even for a moment believe that we are here out of the blue, that this just happened, then dearest ones, this just goes to show you how very much asleep we have been globally. And in order to take something that is so congested, such as the consciousness of the world, and even for a moment think that people are going to just all get on board is a little delusional. This isn't to fault or even project shaming or judgment that anyone's doing anything, and I say anyone doing anything wrong. I'm not talking about corruption wrong. I'm talking about we don't know what we don't know until we know it. And all of us get our lessons of learning and knowing as we're needed to awaken. So some people have been on this path of awakening for a long period of time because life has provided them experiences that thrusted them into that awakening. Myself in particular, I can only really always just speak for myself, whether this resonates or not to you. No, nor here or there, no right or wrong. Always really have to say that, because people will misinterpret and they will twist words and they will find any loophole in anyone's sharing when they don't want to hear it, right? When they feel personally triggered. This is about anything really in that respect. For me, my own path of awakening has been really probably my whole life, but consciously aware of it, I would say definitely over the last 9 years since being a mom. For some, this may be the very first awakening, just this whole 6 week matter that people are like, so there's a lot of shock. There's a lot of denial. There's a lot of blind-minded, tunnel vision ways of resistance. Like, nope, not going to go there. And again, there isn't a right or wrong. There is just the way for you. And yet there are people that have been paving the path for some time, myself included, in my own ways, to reach people because they have felt very called in their journey to share their experiences, and hopes that it resonates to some, if any, just one, because even just the impact of one makes a world of difference. And we're all kind of coming to this nucleus of, just dissolving what no longer serves us. So we can only continue to take in what does and what always has been meant for our souls, okay? So one of the things that I've been kind of feeling into personally is this whole spectrum of where is one to allow themselves to speak openly and freely based on their experiences and path of awakening, and still be in this world, which from a spiritual perspective, we can call that the 3D material world, and still find an equilibrium. There's a myriad of words that are used in spirituality, path of awakening, whatever, I've come to just allow it to serve the language as it's meant. It's not needing to be perceived as a woo-woo of any kind. Yet I can just say from my journey, in spirituality with different teachers and stuff, there's, understandings that there's no duality, that there is no black or white, right or wrong. And I agree on many levels that we construct the frequency of this or this, okay? And yet we still all exist in this physical life. And so this is something I've been trying to grapple with for a while, over sharing from a frequency of awakening, yet still really truly being grounded in this 3D world, and not allow what I want to share be interpreted as, oh, you're getting caught in fear. Oh, just raise your frequency over here and then, everything's better. I don't believe that. I've come to believe more and more in my own inner experience that there can be both of them. This is the this and this. It doesn't have to be spliced in the middle but it can be the both and. And right now we're facing both a material world devolution of so much that needs to burn and be exposed and crumble. So we have this, and we have to also recognize the rising of those ashes, of what's possible and what we can do to balance the awareness of both. This, for me, is where I've been sitting with my own sharing in my writing, when I write my words, and tap as deeply into the truth of my own knowing. Irrespective of what someone else might be saying, I take what I hear, I discern it, I go within, I trust into the wiring of my own intelligence and wisdom, based on my life experiences, based on the path of awakening, based on my level of intuition and capacity to understand the both and do all of this so that as I come into this space, call it a video, call it writing, whatnot, I can bring a sense of greater clarity to what it is that feels resonant for me. Not right or wrong for you, not better or worse for someone else. However, the intention is to really bring as much of a gleamed clarity of all so that you can make your own discernment from what you're hearing and recognize where that reactiveness or responsiveness is actually coming from. There's a lot out there that is triggering, and how we can take that trigger and transform it into the highest of truth, for me, is the opportunity we all have available to us, all of us. And it's a mirror for something that's being asked of us to look more into. So when I see something that I'm listening to, and I can feel the rumblings inside of me, and I'm just like, oh, and I'm feeling all the emotions. I'm letting it all bubble up. I'm not judging them. I'm not condemning them. I'm not shunning them because spirituality says, oh, only be in the highest frequency and vibration to uphold humanity. Yes, of course, that's ultimately truth in many ways. And at the same time, depending on how I alchemize that energy into a collective consciousness of awakening, that to me is equally golden, as opposed to coming at it with this, intense energy. I need to first distill that and then allow that to shepherd me into this space of vesseling what I've distilled from that experience of my emotions, okay? This is how all things can happen if we give it the right space. And it starts with all of us. Take off the blinders, really go in, sit with the discomfort, sit with the trigger, sit with the fear, sit with the guilt of anything that you're going to feel because, oh my goodness, I'm not supposed to feel this. And if I dare even feel this or tell someone I'm feeling this, then I'm going to look this and then worrying about what everyone's going to think, everyone's going to say. We got to stop this. That's the BS. And as long as we stay a part of that system, my light just went out. There we go. On my computer, I didn't even realize how illuminating that was. If we continue to sit into the space of that self-imposed judgment, how in the world can we even dare to see a different world? Because we're too concerned about the external. And this is why we're seeing what we're seeing. There's no surprise. So all of this, in some way, shape, or form, is inviting us. There's an opportunity here, even in the ugly. But this is the gift of all things that are ugly. Pain, death, anything. It invites us to go in. This is the opportunity being asked of us right now. How can I stop looking outside of me and look inside for those answers? Because they're there. They've always been there. So I hope this brings you guys a little bit of illumination to dare to endeavor what it is that maybe you're not wanting to out of whatever belief system or any fear-based mechanism of some sort that's been told to you that it's not okay, that you can't be spiritual and still be in this world at the same time and ask questions. Sorry, Personally, I don't buy that. There has to be a balance to both always. And when we get too crazy this way or too crazy this way, we're off center all the time. So continue to stay aligned within. Continue to really listen to the whispers of your own intuition and wisdom and truth. And let that frequency ripple out into the collective to awaken, hopefully others, as far and wide as possible. All my love and blessings. We'll be back soon another time. Take care.